Latitudes and longitudes. At the end of this module, you will be able to define latitudes, list the important latitudes, identify the different climatic zones and their characteristics, define longitude, classify the characteristics of longitudes, interpret the time of different locations with the help of longitudes, define standard time and local time of a place. The Earth is slightly flattened at the top and bottom. They are referred to as the North and South poles respectively. An imaginary line passing through the center is called the axis. The Earth rotates on the fixed points at the poles and the imaginary axis. An imaginary line passes halfway through the Earth and between the poles. This imaginary line divides the Earth into two equal hemispheres, the northern and southern hemispheres. This is the equator. There are imaginary lines running parallel to each other, from east to west and north to south. These imaginary lines help locate the exact location of places on Earth. These lines are called latitudes and longitudes. Latitudes are circles running parallel to the equator from east to west. They are also called parallels of latitude. The equator is the central latitude and called the Great Circle, while all other latitudes are called small circles. 0 degree is at the equator. As we move towards the poles, the circles become smaller. At the pole or at 90 degrees, latitude becomes a point. Latitude of the North Pole is 90 degrees north, and latitude of the South Pole is 90 degrees south. Latitudes help in locating physical features of the Earth and also in understanding the climate of a place. Equator is the most important latitude that divides the Earth into two equal hemispheres. The Tropic of Cancer lies 23.5 degrees to the north. The Tropic of Capricorn lies 23.5 degrees to the south. The Arctic Circle lies 66.5 degrees to the north. The Antarctic Circle lies 66.5 degrees to the south. The latitudes divide the Earth into three different climatic zones: Torrid or Tropical Zone, Temperate Zone, and Frigid Zone. Torrid Zone is that part of the Earth which lies on both sides of the equator, between the tropics. It is the hottest part of the Earth and is also called the tropical zone. The sun's rays fall vertically on these places at least twice a year. Temperate zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere, and between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. The temperate zone has moderate climatic conditions. The frigid zone lies around the North Pole within the Arctic Circle and around the South Pole within the Antarctic Circle. It is known as the Arctic Zone in the Northern Hemisphere and the Antarctic zone in the southern hemisphere. This zone experiences severe cold. Longitudes are semicircles that converge at the north and south poles. They are also called meridians of longitude. There are 360 of these imaginary lines that are called degrees. The 0-degree line or prime meridian runs through the Royal Observatory, Greenwich, England. You can find 180 degrees lines to the east and west of the prime meridian. The maximum distance between the longitudes is at the equator, and it gradually decreases towards the poles. Longitudes are used for calculating time at various places on the Earth. If you were 80 degrees to the west of the prime meridian, your longitudinal location would be 80 degrees west. If you were 40 degrees north of the equator and 80 degrees to the west of the prime meridian, then your location would be 40 degrees north and 80 degrees west. The latitude and longitude of a place help to pinpoint the location of the place. We use a system of hours, minutes, and seconds to measure time. The Earth takes 1 day to complete a rotation on its axis from west to east. As different places on the Earth do not experience day and night at the same time, scientists devised a method to calculate time by dividing the Earth into 24 different time zones. Each time zone is either an hour ahead or behind the previous time zone. There are 360 meridians of longitude, and each of them passes the sun once in 24 hours. The Earth rotates 15 degrees in 1 hour. Each time zone is approximately 15 degrees longitude wide. Therefore, the Earth rotates 1 degree in 4 minutes. When it is 12 noon at Greenwich, it is 2 p.m. at all the places 30 degrees east longitude. Simultaneously, it is 10 a.m. at all the places 30 degrees west longitude. Local time is what we use to regulate our lives locally, our work times, meals and sleep hours. Local time of a place is the time when the sun is facing the meridian. The time calculated by the position of the sun at noon is called the local mean time. All places on the same meridian will have the same time, irrespective of their distances. If places situated at different meridians keep their local time, then travelers would have to keep adjusting their watches as they travel from one place to another. Standard time helps overcome this problem. Standard time is the local time of a particular meridian, which is adopted for the whole country, and that meridian is called Standard Meridian. For India, the local time of 82.5 degree east longitude is known as Standard Meridian of India. Most of the small countries easily fit within one time zone, whereas some larger countries like Russia, Australia, Canada, Brazil, and the US span across multiple time zones. Now that you have reached the end of the module, here is the summary. Equator is an imaginary line that divides the Earth into two equal hemispheres. Latitudes are circles running parallel to the equator from east to west. They are also called parallels of latitude. The equator is the central latitude. Latitudes help in locating physical features of the Earth and also in understanding the climate of a place. The Tropic of Cancer lies 23.5 degrees to the north, and the Tropic of Capricorn lies 23.5 degrees to the south. The Arctic Circle lies 66.5 degrees to the north, and the Antarctic Circle lies 66.5 degrees to the south. The latitudes divide the Earth into three different climatic zones: Torrid or Tropical Zone, Temperate Zone, and Frigid Zone. Torrid Zone is that part of the Earth which lies on both sides of the equator between the tropics. Temperate Zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere, and between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. The Frigid Zone lies around the North Pole within the Arctic Circle and the South Pole within the Antarctic Circle. Longitudes are semicircles that converge at the North and South Poles. The 0-degree line or prime meridian runs through the Royal Observatory, Greenwich, England. The time calculated by the position of the Sun at noon is called the local mean time. Standard time is the local time of a particular meridian which is adopted for the whole country.